Step behind the bars of the infamous Bangkok Hilton, and it's the number of women that's overwhelming. The number who've taken the gamble. Nearly 6,000 in this one small jail. Most have thrown their lives away for drugs. With the average sentence 25 years or more, many will die in this place. It's not a good life.
Not a good, because it's just a long time because the drug. It's very serious crime in Thailand.
By day, the prison operates as a sweatshop, the women filling in the endless hours, learning skills they'll never use. By night, they fill the cells like sardines. How many women are in this cell?
200.
200 women in here?
Yes.
How do they fit?
Here.
During our time at the Bangkok Hilton, prison officer Pashrapon made sure we saw only what they wanted us to see.
Just a moment, would you please?
Some parts of the jail were strictly off limits, as was access to foreign prisoners, including 3 Australian women.
That's why they're here, but how do they cope?
If you're stupid enough to do the crime in Thailand, then perhaps you deserve to do the monumental time. But being here in the Bangkok Hilton, it's hard to imagine how anyone could face spending 25, 30, 50 years in here. As sanitised a version as we're getting today, this is not a nice place. Across town, the men's version of the Bangkok Hilton is Bang Kwang, known as the Big Tiger because it eats people alive. Is this Thailand's harshest prison?
Yeah.
Nathi Chitsawang is the boss of Thailand's jails. When you hear that you're coming here, do you get very frightened as a prisoner?
Yeah, because this is the most maximum security prison.
Like the women's prison, this jail is horribly overcrowded. But for our cameras, only a handful of the 6,000 inmates are on show. Down there, are they?
That one, that 2 people.
Well, those 2 people are prisoners with the white socks.
Right here, that, over there. See that?
There's a prisoner.
I'm Tara.
Tara, what a handshake.
Most inmates are here because of drugs, including Australians, Bobby Hallowell and Robert Foley.
So you don't have to worry, I'm not going to speak bad.
They agreed to talk to us about life in Bang Kwang, but Thai authorities insisted we film them from behind.
It's deadening, it deadens your soul. It just turns you... For me, I can't speak for anyone else, it just turns me hard.
The prison's so overcrowded, it's like a time bomb ticking, waiting to go off.
You sit here and you tell me how terrible the conditions are here, but it doesn't look that bad.
You look beautiful too. Makeup, my dear, cosmetics, snow job. Why don't they let you come in the hellhole? I thought you had to die to go to hell, but hell is right here. What would your reaction be? Life in prison? I haven't got much life left anyway.
There'd be some who'd think hell is too good for Bobby Hallowell. Having already served a 5-year sentence for an earlier drug offence in Thailand, he's now in for life for trying to smuggle heroin to Australia. What were you doing with the heroin? You know the rules and regulations of this country.
When you're addicted to a heroin, you don't think about any rules. All you're thinking about is every day getting something to feel normal or whatever you want to be again.
Are you still a drug addict?
No. I haven't used any drugs for a year, but if you want them, it's here. Everything's here except a woman.
I feel embarrassed, I feel ashamed of myself.
He claims he's innocent, but Thai police accuse Robert Foley of being the Australian link in an international drug trafficking ring. Now in his 7th year in jail, he's still waiting for his appeal to be heard. Is it hard to hold on to your sanity?
It is, yes. But, I mean, there's guys that walk around here, I kid you not, they're zombies. These are Westerners, and I'm talking to them and I'm thinking, my God, you know, am I you? But I'm not like that. I've maintained a high level of sanity, I think.
For 6 years, Lal Doniger was one of those zombies, jailed in Bang Kwang for trying to smuggle heroin. Now, after a rare pardon by the King of Thailand, he's a free man back home in Sydney.
Things can always get worse when you're over there. Always get worse. And there's even things worse than death down here.
What are they?
Being amongst the people who are dying, watching them die and not being able to help.
Lal Doniger was caught with 34 grams of heroin at Bangkok airport. He was sentenced to death, later reduced to life because he pleaded guilty.
Bahan Sawit was the words, and I'd learned enough Thai to know that meant immediate execution. Then they went in, there was 5 judges, they went into a powwow for about 10 minutes and come back out with, 50-year sentence.
Was that sentence any easier to hear than death?
Well, that's why I yelled out, what's the difference, 50 years or death, it's the same thing. I just think an execution would have been a bit quicker.
Just contemplate having to spend the rest of your life in a jail like this. Even the guards know how tough it is. They put prisoners in leg irons for their first 3 months, not to stop them escaping, but to stop them killing themselves.
They put them on with a sledgehammer, so you can't pick a lock or anything to get them off. And I got infections around my ankles and that. It took years for the scars to come off.
Do you accept that if you take the risk in this country, that you deserve whatever punishment they give you?
Well, I could say that, and I could, a fair cop in Australia for a kilo of heroin is 6 years, and you do 4 years and you're free. But here in Thailand, I don't know why, they're killing people and giving sentences. There's people in here 20 years and they'll never get out because they're so old.
And you really don't know why? I mean, they're trying to stop people like you.
Well, how can they? I'm a little fish, my dear. What about the big 600 kilo bus in Australia? You know where all that comes from? Thailand.
Over there is Myanmar, the old Burma. Across the river is Laos, and here is Thailand. This is the Golden Triangle, one of the world's biggest producers of opium and heroin. But when it comes to amphetamines, the figures are also astronomical. Just to give you an idea, something like 700 million tablets of amphetamines are smuggled in over the Myanmar border each year. Now, to counter that, Thailand has declared war on drugs. In the last 12 months, more than 72,000 arrests have been made. 2,500 suspected drug dealers and traffickers have been shot dead, and still the drugs keep coming. The enemy of drug barons is Commissioner of Narcotics General Watrapal. He can't claim to have won the war against drugs yet, but he's certainly winning some of the battles. How much heroin is here?
The actual heroin is about 15 kilograms.
In his latest victory, he seized 280,000 amphetamine tablets and 15 kilograms of high-grade heroin. You can see why people take the risk. In the Golden Triangle, you could buy this heroin haul for $300,000, but sell it on the streets of Sydney or Melbourne, and it's worth $40 million. Can you tell from this whether it's good quality?
Yes.
How?
The color.
Because
It's quick. It changes the color so quick.
While it's pretty amazing to see this quantity of drugs close up, what's even stranger is the calm demeanour of this man, caught red-handed with the heroin and now basically dead man walking. If this guy is convicted, what happens to him?
Because the quantity of drug found, he might get life imprisonment.
So minimum, if he's a caretaker, he may get life. If he is more involved, this man
That be capital punishment.
will die.
Dead.
Of course, the court will decide this man's fate, but chances are... So these are real bullet holes? He'll end up here, the execution chamber at Bangkok Prison. Now, prisoners sentenced to death die by injection. Until last year, they were shot. By this man. The musical Chawalat Jaraban, Bangkwang's chief executioner, has killed 55 prisoners. Do you think bad drug offenders should be executed?
If they're criminals and they do something really bad, they deserve to be executed.
What makes Thailand so attractive to foreigners is what makes it so dangerous. An easygoing place where almost everything is available for next to nothing. The most prohibited, the cheapest of all, as long as you're prepared to bet your life.
Huh? How are you feeling? Not real good, not real good. Thank you very much.
It was stupid, but I did it.
Did you at any stage know you were putting your life on the line?
Not until we were caught. They're pretty stoned the whole time.
So you were out of it?
Yeah.
On the surface, Lyle Doniger's a fortunate man. He's no longer an addict, and in 2002 was released from Bangkok. But 2 years on, he's still serving time, only here the bars are invisible.
My family's growing up, especially the young children. Last time I saw them, I tucked them in the bed and read them bedtime stories. Now they don't even know me, they don't call me Dad anymore. That hurts. And I realised that, you know, that my life back here is, I don't have a life back here. That's it.
Well, what a pity you didn't think about all of that before you tried to bring heroin back into Australia.
Of course, in hindsight, I've heard many people, you know, think in hindsight that, but I said before, I can't change history. That's been done.
I know you say you were an addict and therefore you weren't thinking clearly, but even as an addict, is it worth taking the risk here?
Myself, I couldn't stop.
But as a warning to others, what would you say?
If you're thinking of coming to Thailand and you think you'll get away with it, be very, very careful.
Your family in Australia will probably see this. Do you have a message for them?
Yeah, I'd just like to say hello, Mum.
And that's it?
What else can I say? I'll see you soon. It's, you know, be strong. I'm strong. Let them be strong.
It's unsettling spending time with these men, in particular Bobby Hallowell. He faces the rest of his life in jail, but shows no remorse for his actions. I don't know if it's the jail or the drugs, but there's something very strange about his sense of reality. Is it worth throwing your life away?
If you ask me would I do it again, I'd say yes. I can't change what's happened and I can't change the future, you know. What will be, will be. What's happened.
So it was worth it?
Yeah, I've had a good life.